Darwin Nunez is without a doubt the biggest flop we've had in recent years. That's why he might very well be the first player to walk through the exit door this summer. And honestly, it might be the best solution for us and for him. But if you take a step back and look at it from a different angle, selling Darwin could also mean losing something that other teams would kill to have. That's the harsh reality about selling Darwin Nunez, and that's exactly what we're going to dive into in today's video. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight into it. Now, just to be clear, we're not here to defend Darwin or campaign for him to stay. In fact, the player himself has made it extremely difficult for anyone to stand by him lately. That tweet he posted, and then quickly deleted, felt like the final straw for so many fans who genuinely loved him and wanted him to succeed here. Now, keeping all the social media and personal life shenanigans aside, Darwin's impact on the pitch has never been consistent, and that is the main reason why so many people have had enough of him. He can score a goal that leaves you in awe, making you think he is the best number 9 in the world, but then he will miss 2 clear-cut chances in the very same game. Now, believe it or not, this inconsistency has nothing to do with his technical quality. It is not about his shooting technique or how he positions or orients his body. It is all in his head. Darwin is mentally fragile, and it has been clear for everyone to see since his debut season, starting from that silly red card he received against Crystal Palace. One provocative shove from an opponent, one misplaced pass, a wasted chance, or even a bad decision from the referee, and Darwin loses it mentally. And more often than not, once he loses it, he is completely taken out of the game. When Arne Slot came in, many of us were convinced that he would finally unlock Darwin. Slot has improved so many players throughout his career, and we thought Darwin would be next. We thought he would unleash the beast we had all been waiting for since the day we signed him. But sadly, that has not happened. The same frustrating, chaotic Darwin is still here. And if Slot, who is known for developing players, cannot settle him down, it is really hard to believe that anyone else will. Maybe it is just the hot-blooded Uruguayan spirit after all, but oh well. So, with Darwin not improving in this area, it would make perfect sense to sell him. And if that was not enough, even though we are not going to make a profit from his sale, we would still be able to generate some good cash, especially if the Saudi links turn out to be true. After all, the player is still only 25 years old, and in a lesser league, he could easily become the face of the competition. So, looking at the overall picture, there really seems to be no downside to parting ways with him. You get some decent money for a player who has been inconsistent and, in a way, uncontrollable. Well, here is where the harsh reality kicks in. Love him or hate him, Darwin is chaos. Yes, that might sound like a repeated and cheesy way to describe him, but he genuinely is the closest thing to pure chaos you will come across in football. And in today's game, players like that are needed more than ever. Let us explain why. When Slot arrived, many of us expected the team to be more controlled in possession. We thought Liverpool would move away from relying so much on transitions and direct attacks. And while it is true that we are now more deliberate with our long balls, timing them better instead of launching them aimlessly, creating transition situations is still a key pillar of how we score a lot of our goals. After all, we are leading the Premier League in goals scored from counter-attacks. This is exactly where Darwin thrives. His physical traits are made for these kinds of situations. He is extremely fast, has long limbs to cover big spaces, and to push and shove with his markers. And he has a strong upper body and a great aerial presence to provide an outlet and a target for long balls. The perfect example was our goal against PSG in France, the one that won us the game despite being dominated for most of it. Darwin made a veteran like Marquinhos look like a complete amateur. He completely dismantled him to win the first aerial duel, then attacked the ball again and slipped Elliott through on goal. Another good example of how Darwin can be a huge outlet, especially against high-pressing teams, was our 3-0 win against Bournemouth earlier in the season. Long balls from Konate were enough to bypass Bournemouth's press and find Darwin, who combined with Salah to dismantle them. And by the way, combination play is another important tool Darwin has, so he is not just a pure transition threat. For example, look at our equaliser against Fulham at Anfield. Darwin maintained an open body orientation, allowing him to face his teammate chest on, which gave him the option to turn either way after receiving the ball. He then did exactly that, taking a quick touch before immediately releasing Jota, who faked the first shot and slotted the second send one home. This is exactly what we mean when we say Darwin is chaos. For all his flaws on the pitch, from the inconsistency to the shaky temperament, Darwin brings that raw chaos that defenders absolutely hate facing. Yes, he is unpredictable for us when we watch him, but he is just as unpredictable for the opponents, and that is something that is becoming really rare nowadays for a centre forward to have. And that is without even mentioning his intensity, his work rate, and his hunger when we do not have the ball, especially when he is fired up and playing on emotion. Now, this is just one side of the harsh truth about selling Darwin. The other side is that getting rid of him might expose other problems in the squad, or to put it better, might stop us from properly addressing them. See, as much as we all love Diogo Jota, his physical levels have hit a worrying low. Not only is he injury prone, but even when he does come off the bench, his impact on games has noticeably dropped, mainly because of his declining physical capabilities. So we already need a new striker, even if Darwin stays. You just cannot rely on Luis Diaz as a false nine after all. And when you keep that in mind, you realise that the club already needs to bring in a new left back, a new centre back, and a proper number 6. This is assuming that Harvey Elliott and especially Trent Alexander-Arnold are staying, so we would not have to think about replacing them too. But just these 3 positions alone could take up half, or even more, of the transfer budget. So by selling Darwin, not only would we lose an unpredictable weapon, but we would also be forced to spend a fortune on signing a brand new starting striker. Again guys, we are not here trying to advocate for keeping Darwin. That recent post he made online was the final straw for us too. But what we are saying is that he is such a rare profile that if there was even a 1% improvement in his mentality, we would probably be fighting for him to stay. So yeah, selling Darwin might be the easiest and cleanest solution for everyone involved. But like we explained in today's video, it is not as simple as it looks on paper. When you lose a player like Darwin, you are not just losing an inconsistent striker, you are losing a rare profile that can create chaos, stretch defenses, and give you a completely different weapon compared to most other centre forwards out there. Replacing that is never easy, and with all the other areas the club needs to fix, it might even be impossible to do in just one window. At the end of the day, it is a gamble either way. Keeping Darwin could backfire if he never gets over his mental hurdles. Selling him could backfire if we struggle to replace what he brings, even with someone who is technically better. The club needs to get this decision spot on because it could define a big part of how successful the next cycle under Slot will be. Anyway, what do you guys think? Would you cash in on Darwin and move on? Or would you be willing to give him one more season under Slot? And if we do sell, what kind of profile would you want to see replacing him? Let us know in the comments below. We will be reading them all. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons for more content. We're planning to release more in the coming weeks. Until next time guys, peace.